Happy New Year, advanced math students. We're going to go ahead after your review on slope, and we're going to talk about slope-intercept form. This is lesson 4.4 on slope-intercept form. Please make sure that you have your notebook and your pencil. You might need some graph paper that's in Schoology to draw a couple graphs, but you are definitely going to be needing to take notes. So the first thing that we are going to do is what we kind of finished up last time. We are going to use an equation with a table, and we are going to graph it. So x minus 1, 0 minus 1 is negative 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 1 is 2. Plot those points on our graph. 1, 0, 2, 1, and 3, 2. And of course, then we would draw the line and straight as you possibly can all the way through the graph. Let's use another color. Half of x plus 2. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Plus 2 is 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. Half of 4 is 2 plus 2 is 4. Graph that. We're at negative 2, 1, 0, 2, 3, 2, 3, and 4, 4. So you would be going all the way through that way. Straight line all the way through. We're going to do this a little bit easier. We know how to draw the lines, but we're going to do this a little bit easier, and we're going to be looking at our equation. So the next page is where you need to have your notes out. This whole page is going in your notes, okay? So I'm going to talk through it, but then at any point in time, feel free to stop the video and record. You need to know your intercepts, both the x-intercept and the y-intercept. And basically what they are, and I would recommend possibly putting this little picture in there, your x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. Your y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Okay, and it's for your x-intercept, y is always 0. For your y-intercept, x is always 0. Copy that down. However, this part is the most important part that we are going to be talking about, the slope-intercept form. And I want you to have it both in words and in algebra. A linear equation written in the form of y equals mx plus b is in slope-intercept form. The slope of the line is m, the y-intercept of the line is b. This, ladies and gentlemen, is huge. You need to know this. Slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Pause the video and get it all written down, and then we're going to start talking about it. So let's go ahead and look at what you are going to do for your homework. The directions say find the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of each linear equation. You really don't need the graph at all. You can tell what it is right here. Y equals mx plus b. M is the slope. B is the y-intercept. So, slope is this number right here, negative 4. Our b is our y-intercept. It's technically what we are adding. So here, our y-intercept is a negative 2. Here are our answers, our slope and our y-intercept. Here, we don't have it in y equals mx plus b. We have to get it there. We need to get y by itself. We've done this before. We're going to add 5 to both sides. So now we have y by itself. We have 3/2 x plus 5. Now we have y equals mx plus b. Whoops, that should be a b. So our slope is what's right before the x, 3/2. Our y-intercept is what we are adding. In this case, we're adding a positive, so our y-intercept is 5. Now, I said we didn't need the graph, and we don't. However, we are going to have to be able to graph it. So we're going to graph using this information. Whoops, red. So we'll start with this one. Our slope is -4. Our y-intercept is -2. First thing I want you to put on the graph is your y-intercept. Here's our y-axis, -2. So here's where my y-intercept goes. Now, our slope is -4, but we're going to put it over 1. And remember, we have rise over run. So we're going to start at our y-intercept. We're going to go -4, so down 4, 3, 4, and to the right 1, just like that. If we want to go the other direction, we go the opposite way. We go up 4, 2, 3, 4, to the left 1, up 4, to the left 1. And there we have our line all the way through. Again, if I could draw a straight line. Let's do this. Y-intercept first, our second problem. Our y-intercept is 5, so on our y-axis, our slope is 3/2. So we go up 3 to the right 2, positive. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 2. But let's go the other way, so let's go down. Down 3 to the left 2. Down 3 to the left 2. Down 3 to the left 2. And there is our line for that one. Okay, let's do these again. We have 1 and 2. So our slope, we'll do number 1, is 3, because it's the one right before the x. Y equals mx plus b. Our y-intercept, because we're actually adding a -7, so our y-intercept is -7. So let's graph it now. Our y-intercept is -7, which would be down here. Our slope is 3/1, rise over run, so we would go up 3 and to the right 1. So up 3 to the right 1, 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 and there is our line. Number 2, I'm going to rewrite it over here. Y minus 1 equals -2/3 x. It is not in slope-intercept form, so we have to get y by itself. Let's add 1 to each side, so we get y equals -2/3 x plus 1. Now, notice I put the 1 up here with the 2. I don't care if you put it with the 2 or if you put it with the 3. It's the same thing. One of the numbers has to be negative, not both. So, our slope is right before the x. It's -2/3. Our y-intercept is what we are adding, so it's a +1. So let's graph it. Y-intercept is a +1. That would go here. -2, remember, rise over run. Ooh, bad S. Rise over run. So we're going to go down 2 because it's a negative. And we're going to go to the right 3. So starting here, we're going to go down 2. 1, 2, 3 to the right 3. Down 2 to the right 3. Down 2 to the right 3. Now, if I want to go the other direction, I'm just going to flip where the negative goes. So I'm going to go up 2 and to the left 3. Up 2 to the left 3. And then I can draw that line. There's that line. So we don't actually have to do an XY table. We can just use our slope and our y-intercept. The cost y of taking a taxi x miles is y equals 2.5x plus 2. graph the equation and interpret the y-intercept and the slope. So let's write this down. Y equals, let's do 2.5. So I'm going to change that to 5 over 2. I'm going to change this to a mixed number, so it would be 5 over 2x plus 2. Our slope is 5 over 2. Our y-intercept is a positive 2. So if we graph it, here's where we're starting. Our y-intercept says basically x meaning miles, okay? We're going 0 miles. We're in a taxi and we're going 0 miles. What does this 2 mean? Y is the cost, is the dollars. That means at 0 miles, it's costing us $2 before we even go anywhere. You get in the taxi, it costs you $2. Now, let's do our slope, rise over run. So we're going to go up 5 and to the right 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Let's go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2 would be down, way down here. So there's our line. Now, what does our slope mean? Our slope means that we're going up 2.5 every 2. We're going up 2.5 every, or 5 every 2 miles. So basically that means every 2 miles we go, it's costing us another $5. For every 1 mile that we go, it's costing us 2.5. Actually, it'd be about here is where it would be. 2.5 would be about right there. Sorry, right in between there somewhere. So our y-intercept is where we begin. That's the beginning. $2 before we go anywhere. Our slope is the change. How many dollars per mile? That's our change. So now we're going to find our x-intercept. So let's graph our equation. Y equals negative 3x plus 3. Our slope is negative 3. We're going to put it over 1. Our y-intercept is a positive 3. So y-intercept first. There's our beginning. Negative 3 over 1. Rise over run. So we're actually going to go down 3 and to the right 1. So down 3 to the right 1. Down 3 to the right 1. Down 3 to the right 1. I could go the other way. I could go up 3 to the left 1. And here is our line. Now, what we need to find, though, is our x-intercept. Where does our graph cross the x-axis? It crosses it at 1. So our x-intercept is 1, and then y is always 0. So there's our x-intercept. These are the kind of equations that you're going to be asked on your homework, on your exercises today. You're going to graph linear equations. You are going to have to find the slope and the y-intercept. You may have to identify the x-intercept. Don't worry about graphing calculators. Most of you don't have them, so I'm not too worried about it. So we find slope. In this case, if there's nothing in front, it's a 1. So our slope is 1. Our y-intercept would be our negative 4. Graph it. Negative 4. Slope 1 over 1. So we would go up 1 to the right 1. Up 1, right 1. So it would be like that. Our x-intercept, if we had to find it, our x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. In this case, it would be 4, 0. If your y-intercept, if you want to put 0, negative 4, that's fine too. So depending upon the problem, that's the stuff that you're going to be finding. Slope, y-intercept, graph it, x-intercept. Interpret this x-intercept and the slope, or the y-intercept and the slope. Remember, the y-intercept is where they are at the beginning. The slope is the change. So, different taxi. Our new equation is y equals 2x plus 1.5. So Where did we begin? At $1.50. So $1.50 at 0 miles. And our change is we're going to be charged $2 every mile. That's the kind of information that we're going to need. So let's figure it out. Last problem. This is our exit ticket for today. You're going to graph it and identify the slope and the y-intercept. And here's our equation. So y minus 4 equals 2x. It is not in slope-intercept form yet. So let's change it. We have to add 4 to both sides. So y equals 2x plus 4. Now we can find our slope, which is 2. And I'm going to put it over 1 right away. Y-intercept is going to be a 4. So found my slope, found my y-intercept. So let's graph it. Y-intercept goes on there first. Positive 4. There's our y-intercept. Rise over run. So we're going to go up 2 and to the right 1. Up 2 to the right 1. Up 2 to the right 1. Let's go the other way. Opposite. Down 2, left 1. Down 2, left 1. And I can keep going and get all of it in and draw a line, straight line all the way through the graph. And there we go. Feel free to message me with any questions. I'll be happy to go over any problems with you. Your homework then is 4.4 exercises right here in Go Formative. Hopefully you did everything okay. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck. Have a great day.